How's it going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's get right into this review and see what I saw. On Monday, I had the chance of catching another Oscar-nominated for Best Picture film finally. And now this brings me down to only 3 left that I have to watch to have seen all the Best Picture noms. And this actual film, I was really surprised that was kind of in theaters as long as it has been. Simply for the fact that it wasn't considered a huge success, but at the same time it's considered certified rotten fresh. But also at the same time, it's like, oh, this is Daniel Day-Lewis's supposed last film. So, they kind of want to keep it out there longer, because this will be his last performance, going into retirement. Which, whenever an actor says that, they usually always come back out of retirement because they need more money, or, they just say, oh, I need a break, so they say retirement. And I always find that funny when actors, especially big actors like Daniel Day-Lewis and so forth, say things like this, and I'm just like, you'll be back. You'll be back. I know you will. You said this before, Daniel. But anyways, that awesome movie that I actually saw, or a movie that's Oscar nominated that was okay. Such film is The Phantom Thread. Now, The Phantom Thread, like I said, is an Oscar Best Picture nom. I think this is its only Oscar nom, if I believe correctly, besides Daniel Day-Lewis being nominated for Best Actor. But this film was definitely interesting, was definitely different, and I felt it was a very different Paul Thomas Anderson film. Now, this awesome film, of course, as I just mentioned, is directed none other by the awesome Mr. Paul Thomas Anderson. Now, Paul Thomas Anderson has directed a whole slew of films over the years, I would say the last 20-plus years, of just interesting and very critically acclaimed type of films. 2 of them happen to be 2 that I really enjoyed of his, that out of all the ones that he's done, that I think are the 2 best, and just better of his pictures, and definitely very different than this film was in The Phantom Thread. Now, one of those awesome films stars the awesome Mr. Mark Wahlberg, Julianne Moore, William H. Macy, Burt Reynolds, and a slew of other awesome actors. And that is the awesome film Boogie Nights. Now, Boogie Nights was considered such a huge success for its time, and really was, one of Paul Thomas Anderson's first big films. And this film really shows how great of an eye Paul Thomas Anderson has, and how good of a director he is as well. But at the same time, the film was just really interesting and a different take on, the adult industry. And kind of gave it a whole new edge of, what actually went behind it. What did these actors, these people that performed in these sexual acts, what they kind of did, and, what all was involved. It was very interesting and good film. I really enjoyed it. Another film that the awesome Paul Thomas Anderson directed that I really enjoyed and thought was a decent film was another Daniel Day-Lewis film that was considered a huge success, and also won Daniel Day-Lewis another one of his Oscars that he's won, and also was considered an Oscar nom for Best Picture as well. And that is the film There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood is by far, I think, even better than Boogie Nights, and just one of Paul Thomas Anderson's best films to date. This film was just so intense and so amazing. Great story structure, just great story itself. The acting by everyone involved was so amazing. Paul Dano was amazing in it, and just the whole story going along the lines of, the oil industry and stuff like that, and just, kind of bringing in kind of that, religious element to it. It was just a really strange, but yet really intense and great film. And definitely showed Paul Thomas Anderson's true, directing chops, and how, perfect of a director he is, how well he can make a movie, and just really showed his talent to begin with. It even showed it more than Boogie Nights did. But with Phantom Thread, it was very off of Paul Thomas Anderson's kind of directing. It was very different, because the story itself is kind of just, basically taking a life story, basically, and putting it to 2 hours and 10 minutes, basically. I mean, that's pretty much what he did. It wasn't your usual Paul Thomas Anderson film. A lot of, dead space, and a lot of, thoughtful thinking scenes, and just, it was very different. It wasn't usually what he does, and so I was really shocked that this got so much praise because it was so different than what he's done. Other than that, though, still, he gave it a beautiful, architect. He picked perfect landscaping for the film. It was so beautiful seeing England, during the 50s, and it really was still just a very elegant film as well, with all the outfits and the scenery and the clothings and the houses and the automobiles. That was all really amazing, and definitely made that film worth watching just for that aspect. Now, this film really didn't have a huge cast. Just really 3 people that were kind of the main, actors and actresses that were involved with the film that you see throughout the film. Now, one of those happens to be Mr. Gonna be retiring, and this is his final film, Mr. Daniel Day-Lewis. Now, Daniel Day-Lewis, we all recognize from, a slew of films, from his Oscar performance in My Left Foot to, There Will Be Blood and so forth. But a couple films I really enjoyed him in and thought he was really excellent in were such films as The Awesome and Amazing, based on how basically, America was created, kind of almost. How it was like back in the early 1900s over New York, and all the Irish immigrants coming over. And that's the film Gangs of New York. Now, Gangs of New York was just a really intense and awesome film. One of Martin Scorsese's best films, I feel. I definitely feel he should have won for that film, not just The Departed in 2006. He so deserved to win for the film because it was just a really amazing and very well-directed film. And Daniel Day-Lewis's performance in that film was just so intense and amazing. Between Leonardo DiCaprio and Cameron Diaz in it as well, Brendan Gleeson, it just had a really great cast that just enveloped such a wonderful story, and just gave us a whole new image of what that time frame was like in New York, and just how it was. And I thought they did it so beautifully and gave us a real connection to that time frame and really knowing what happened. And it was just really good. It was just a really intense film. Lots of great action sequences. The outfits were amazing in the film. The look of it, I really enjoyed too. And Daniel Day-Lewis's performance was just so amazing. And I think it's one of his best performances. Because he's so awesome, and definitely not his best, but definitely one of his best performances. And just, it was a really great film, and he did a great job and made the movie very entertaining. Another great film that he was in, and another Oscar contender, of a real life story, and that is of one of the best presidents ever to live, and that is the film Lincoln. Now, his portrayal of Abraham Lincoln was so amazing and definitely deserved his Oscar for that film as well. He just was so awesome, so amazing in that film, and just, he really embodied Lincoln and brought, Lincoln back to life for us to see what he was like for, our 20th century people. And just, it was a really great film done by Steven Spielberg. He directed so beautifully and gave us a whole interesting and amazing portrait of Lincoln. And just, he really was an amazing president. He really did a lot for, the United States. He did a lot for people in general. And it was a beautifully crafted film. And Daniel Day-Lewis did an amazing job. Deserves every inch of that Oscar he won for that role, because he was just so good, so amazing, and you really thought he was Lincoln. So great. But in Phantom Thread, I didn't care too much for Daniel Day-Lewis in the film. I thought he was just an arrogant dick in the whole film, and just really annoying, kind of. And because he was so, used to his way in the film, and how he was, just how he was, and because he was eccentric in a sense. His character just really didn't pull me to him. It kind of annoyed me, and just the whole, because of his character and how the story goes along, it just didn't make the movie very entertaining to me. I didn't think it was really Oscar-worthy or an Oscar-worthy performance for him. It definitely was nothing like Gangs of New York, or anything like Lincoln, or There Will Be Blood, or My Left Foot, or, Last of the Mohicans. It felt like it was just kind of like, this is my last performance, supposedly, and I'm just going to give some of it. And it just, I didn't feel that it was as great as he could be, and just I don't feel the story was there for him either. I didn't think it really gave him what he needed to make such a make a great film like any of the previous ones he did. So I was very kind of let down and sad about that aspect about Daniel Day-Lewis in that film, because I think he's so much better than that, and I feel that his character just was kind of blank and flatlined throughout the whole film. Really too bad. I thought it could have been so much better, his performance. We also in the film an actress that I have not seen in anything else before, or I don't remember her in the few films that she's been in that I've seen, and I'm just not familiar really with her, because this is like really the first time I really seen her, like the main actress and her performance, and that's Mrs. Vicky Krieps. Now she's from Australia, she's English, and she has a lot of kind of foreign credits for films too, television and movies, but she's done quite a few films over here in the United States as well, besides The Phantom Thread. Now, a couple films that I totally did not realize that she was in, and because one of them I haven't seen, but the other one I have, are such films as the awesome Philip Seymour Hoffman supposed film that was a real big success, and I still haven't had a chance to see it, but I'm looking forward to seeing it, and that's the film A Most Wanted Man. Now, supposedly she was in this film, and she had a part in it, and that it was pretty intense and pretty interesting. And she gave a really good performance that kind of got her more recognition and more, offers from other bigger studios. And I thought that was quite interesting because, that was probably one of, Philip Seymour Hoffman's last films. And, even though, unfortunately he passed away, he still gave an amazing performance supposedly in that film. And it was just still one, intense, like every role that he plays. And from, Vicky Krieps, she supposedly gave a performance that rivaled his character in the film, too. And I found that interesting. And so I definitely need to check that out and see what that's all about. But yeah, she supposedly was in that and gave a really fantastic performance. Another film that she was in was an awesome action film with Sarah Rosen, who I think is a really decent actress. She's really funny. She plays really good, intense characters. And it's just a really awesome and action-packed kind of film that was very interesting and unique. And that's the film Hannah. Now, in Hannah, Vicky Krieps is in it, and I don't recall who she plays in the film, fortunately. But at the same time, I recall her presence in the film, and I believe she either plays somebody related to Hannah or a friend of Hannah's. And her performance that I remember was really good and showed a little better acting chops than she was in The Phantom Thread. And just a more better and interesting character as well. But Hannah was a really intense and awesome film. Really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's worth a watch. Especially if you, go see The Phantom Thread and then you want to see more things with Vicky Krieps. See Hannah. That's be worth watching for Vicky Krieps' performance, because it was really decent, really interesting, and definitely somewhat memorable, but not as memorable as I could have think, because it's actually been so long since I've seen that movie, probably about 7 years now since it came out. So it'll be interesting to rewatch that film too, and rewatch Vicky Krieps' performance. But in The Phantom Thread, I thought she was okay and mediocre. I didn't think she was anything great, and I could see why she didn't get nominated for, Best Actress nomination at all, because her performance really was kind of just nagging and playing a true life type of, character type of person. And she was kind of evil too at the same time, and you're kind of like, what the hell's wrong with this lady? She's kind of messed up, And I was kind of sitting there watching the movie and going, kind of watching her performance, and all of a sudden she starts doing these things, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, literally, I think I said out loud once, I'm like, what the hell? I think people look back at me and are like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? And I just remember thinking, I'm like, well, this performance is just really out there, And definitely very strong and kept up with Daniel Day-Lewis's character in the film. But at the same time, I didn't think it was anything noteworthy, and I don't see that performance making this film Oscar nomination worthy as well. I just was really disappointed with all the characters in the film, unfortunately. Even though she was okay, she still wasn't anything special enough to make it very entertaining enough to make it to me to see, like, oh, this is definitely Oscar nom-worthy, because these performances were just the most brilliant. I just didn't see that from her or Daniel Day-Lewis in the film. It was, like I said, really disappointed with the film. very disappointed. Now, the only other character and other actress that was in the film that was kind of the main cast and really we saw throughout the film is none other than Miss Leslie Manville. Now, Leslie Manville is an awesome actress, I feel, and I think she's really intense, really funny, and plays really good roles. Now, a couple films that she was in that I really enjoyed. One being an awesome 2013 film that's based on an awesome Disney villain, and that is the film Maleficent. She actually plays one of the fairy godmother characters, which I thought was really interesting, and totally didn't realize that was her until I watched the Phantom Thread. Because I'm watching her, I'm going, I know her. I recognize her, but what have I seen her in? And so when I came back home and looked it back up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she was one of those characters in Maleficent. I was like, no way, because she was hilarious. And I just can remember that she was so good in that and other things I've seen her in. I totally forgot her name. And so when remembering, I'm like, Leslie Manville, she's awesome. But at the same time, it's like, I felt her performance in the film was the most entertaining out of all the characters in the film. I really liked her character because she plays kind of like this somber, but yet very forceful and tactful person, and says what's going to be done, and this is what's going to be done, And I just loved her, presence of that, and how she, pushed it on people, and how she acted. I thought she was definitely the most entertaining of the film, definitely most fun in the film. And also she was great in Maleficent as well, because she just was so funny as that godmother, and just was super, super funny. Another film that Leslie Manville was in that I haven't had the chance to see, but I've seen the cover of this film and the poster and the trailer for this film several times, and I just haven't gotten around to seeing it, but it looks really interesting, is a film that came out, I believe, the late 90s, and it was called Topsy Turvy. Now, this is supposedly kind of like a circus type of film / kind of like Terry Graham worthy look, and kind of Monty Python look, kind of like the English and British humor type of look, and basically about kind of about a circus and these like vaudevillian guys and stuff like that. I really don't know much about the film, but I heard her performance in the film was super amazing and made the film very good, and that she just brought a lot of great acting structure and a lot of great like funny lines to the film, and just really brought the film and made it a huge success for when it came out. And just I heard a lot of good things about the film, and I just haven't gotten around to seeing it, just like a lot of films, because I have so many I have to keep catching up on. But at the same time, it's like, oh, this movie, was quite a few years ago. So it's like not such a big priority right now, and that's why I haven't seen it yet. But at the same time, her performance is really good in the film and makes this film, worthy of her performancing and her acting abilities, which, really shines in the film of Phantom Thread. And like I said, she was just the best part about the Phantom Thread. I really enjoyed her character, thought she was really good. She was super funny, I thought, and there was like really some really fun scenes with her and her acting ability, and just her being such a great actress. And she really brought the film enough entertainment for me to want to watch the whole thing, because there were some points where I was just like, should I walk out because this is so freaking boring? I was like really like going, are we going to pick up? Is something going to happen? Is this going to be more interesting? And thankfully she kept my eye on it and kept wanting me to watch the film just by her performance, because she was so awesome in the film. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Phantom Thread is about, basically what the premise is, it's basically telling you the love story and the relationship between Daniel Day-Lewis's character and Vicky Krieps' character, and basically how they've come together, and basically how Daniel Day-Lewis's character goes from being this like playboy and going from girl to girl to being stuck with this one, getting married, and just basically what their relationship and what their life is like being together, and just their ups and downs. And that's pretty much what the film is about their relationship. And I really found that like so pointless. I thought it was going to be so much more about his dressmaking, him being this, this awesome, dressmaker and fashionist, and, just this guy that, is like supposedly one of the best sewers in the world. And I was really let down. Like I said, I was really let down. I was really surprised at how not good this film was, and how it was just a real kind of like a fart in the wind. I feel I'm really shocked that this got nominated for Best Picture. I'm really shocked because I just think there was other movies that came out last year that were so much better, Could have went way better, so much better, people. But like I said, go check it out for yourself. See what you think. Maybe you'll be more impressed by it. Maybe you'll think it's Oscar worthy. I'm not sure. This is my opinion. But other than that, though, definitely give it a whirl. Give it a try. It's worth watching, at least, just to say that you've seen it so you can see what all the Oscar-nominated films look like. What the Academy is thinking is worthy of achieving an Oscar. And definitely I didn't feel that this film was entertaining, which is what movies are. I feel they are supposed to be entertainment. That's what they were built for. They're supposed to entertain you, and I feel that this film did not entertain me. I only give this one 5 golden movie boxes up. Still gets half rating simply for the fact that it has such a good cast and because of Leslie Manville. And just, it's too bad. It could have been so much better. It could have been a way better film, and I thought Thomas Anderson just kind of failed on this one. It could have been so much better because he's such a better director as well. Definitely a letter downer, Too bad. Could have been so much better. Could have been sparkling. It could have been so much better. All right, I'm just ranting now. Ranting. Just gotta get better. Gotta get better. Why? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, give it a chance at least. Check it out, people. It's definitely, like I said, definitely worth at least one watch just to see what it's all about. And that's pretty much it. That's what it is, people. Basic. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. As always, thank you for subscribing. And this is your first time here, or if you've been here before and haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss one of these awesome videos or any of my videos I put up. As always, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen mine yet. As always, check out that awesome link down about the awesome horror pack. If you're a huge horror fan and you love to collect horror films, what better way is to have 4 awesome DVDs or Blu-rays come right to your door of awesome horror films. And also, each of these boxes come with a limited edition as well. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up, people. And if you're interested in signing up, let me know down in the comments so I can hook you up with a discount on your first month. As always, refer to the awesome previous videos about my awesome giveaway I'm having. That's right, giveaway, people. Giving away 2 awesome digital copies of 2 films and going to a person each. And all you have to do is either, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and let me know down in the comments. Or if you are already a subscriber and you know somebody, or you know somebody that's going to subscribe, and they're going to subscribe, have them subscribe and let them know you told me that you subscribed, and I'll enter into the contest as well. So yeah, people, this is an awesome contest. Doing it, like I said, until I hit 100 subscribers. Once I hit that 100 subscribers, I will be doing the drawing, and then 2 people will be the lucky winners of the awesome digital codes. So keep that in mind, people. Especially if you watch my videos, let me know. Leave me down in the comments, people. This is awesome, people. Oh, yeah. And as always, catch you in the next one.